Welcome to Sanctus Custom Restorations. It's been a minute since I've seen you. It's been about a week or so. Kind of want to update you on the C10 back here. Right now, you probably hear the electrical fan running. That's normal at this moment. The fan relay kicked on. I actually had it out and about just a little bit. Try to warm it up, get some oil flowing through it. The transmission leak is going. I haven't identified that problem yet. We will be getting to that very soon. But I kind of want to just go through a little bit of a checklist of kind of things that I want to get done with it. Kind of like the vision and the dream that I have. So like, for example, the interior, like I have like the, the roof and stuff, spray painted black, stuff like that. I do eventually, when I'm in a vehicle, I love a cozy feel. So I definitely want to go for something, like a darker tone, darker color, but cozy. When I get new windows, or if I can, salvage whatever windows are left without scratches or whatever in it. The darkest tint to legal standards, of course. Stuff like that. Darker interior. I want to do bucket seats. I love a good old bench, but I do want to do bucket seats because I want to turn this into a traveling truck. A truck that I can just travel with, you know what I mean? So like a truck that I can travel with, take across country. I probably want to put a carb in here that's, good at holding its tune as well. Nothing too crazy. Maybe throw a little bit of extra horsepower in there, but something that's good that's holding its tune, especially when you're traveling at different altitudes. You don't know that with the carburetor. Sometimes you're going to have some issues. So you always want to double check on that. So yeah, I mean, and then obviously, getting the body completely, redone. I currently just don't have the equipment to make the entire thing happen right now. I pray someday I will soon enough. But until the meantime, I might get some estimates and quotes around and kind of like figure out what people may charge to do some of the things that needs done on this. I may do like the emblems or something myself, so that way we can get a little bit of content in there for that. I do want to start tearing out this transmission. I don't want to tear out the whole thing, obviously, right at first. I want to start with, diagnosing what I can to kind of find out what's going on. Like if it's just a seal or something, because right now I'm thinking about a 700 R4 to throw in there. Automatic, I mean, yeah, a lot of people will be like, why not, why not manual, why not manual? I could drive the manual, but, it already has an automatic setup. And if I'm traveling with the vehicle, if that's what I want to use it for, automatic is just more convenient. So I'm going to go that route when it comes to it, unless I absolutely had to do manual for any reason. This is a two-wheel drive truck already, so I'm going to keep it that. Don't plan on driving or traveling in the snow or, anything crazy like that. It does have all terrains on it though, so that way it can do its thing, on trails or something, nothing too crazy, but, keep its traction, especially if we're out and about, gravel road, it's raining, whatever. Nah, I mean, other than that, that's what I really want to do with the interior. I see, something like a dark brown leather to kind of like contrast with the black, or even just blacked out. But I mean, blacked out is generic, you know what I mean? So I'm really thinking like the dark brown leather. And you can find some of this stuff on like LMC. I'm thinking about going something just like that. I think I do want to throw a center console in this one. Just because I don't have a third passenger. If I'm hauling my dogs around or something with this 8-foot bed I got on this, I can put their cages in there, build something in there for them to keep them, dry or whatever. But I'm thinking, something like that. New dash clusters and stuff like that. I'd like to keep the original if possible, but it's just so far gone already. It's sun faded, it's sun baked, and all the good stuff, New dash pad and all that stuff. But I like dark and cozy inside of a vehicle. I want to absolutely sound deaden this thing as much as I possibly can. So what I mean by that, like a lot of you know exactly what that means, but like obviously you can buy the kits that go on the floor and stuff like that. But I want to sound deaden as much as I possibly can in here to make it as quiet and smoothest of a ride inside the cab as possible. I replaced the weather stripping on the doors right here. But for the floor and stuff like that, what I want to do, obviously sound deaden all the way across. I'm not sure what I want to do with a headliner yet, right? I'm not even actually quite sure if this thing come with the headliner stock or if it just came bare metal. I'm not sure on that. If it did come with a headliner, which I can do some research on that real quick to kind of find that out, then I may put some like sound deadening in that some way or another. Just kind of put some up there. I'd like to put some sound deadening like behind the seat as well. But I'd like to cover it up with something as well, like to make it look nice, because I don't want it just flailing around up there, you know what I mean? Currently, I've ripped all the speakers out of here because the person that I bought it from anyway had a piece of plywood cut out with a speaker put in it and like wood glued to like the metal in the corners of the cabs and stuff like that. It was just completely done not right, you know, and just unreliable too. The wires were just all over the place. It was just a mess. So, you know, what I really want to do with that is get in there and you know, put some like sound deadening on the back and around the cab corners as well. Figure out what I want to do for a sound system. I like a good sound system. I don't want something that's too crazy, that's rattling windows. You know, I want my exhaust to rattle the windows, right? You know, but you know, no, more the less, I really do like to. I'd rather just have, you know, a good sound system, maybe some small, you know, bass speakers in there, some subs, maybe some small ones or something like that. You know, obviously we're in a single small cab, so, you know, we don't want too much anyway. But I definitely want something that's going to definitely boost, you know, the sound in there, get a good sound system. I love the look of old original radios and stuff like that, but if I can compromise for just that, for just something like, you know, something I can find that's not like neon colors, but, you know, kind of modern, but fits with Bluetooth and, you know, maybe a CD or whatever, because I got tons of CDs still, you know, most people don't these days. You know, but that's really what I'm going for with this. It was previously an AC truck. It does have like the AC heater box and everything. You know, they are completely like heater only, and AC only is like different, you know, and all that stuff. You know, that was leaking. That's why they had taken it out with people that you know, bought it before I did. So what I want to do with that is I would like to throw AC back in here. Definitely make sure that it's, you know, it's working properly and stuff like that. That's going to be like one of the last amenities, luxuries that I actually do in this thing. Because the most important is like, you know, just me taking it out and running it. You know, the carb that's in it now, obviously, like I said, I want new parts in that sense. Carb, you know, even kind of get in maybe to the valves and the lifters and all that stuff. So that way, you know, we're kind of safe and comfortable traveling at that point, you know, knowing, okay, you know, this stuff is good. There's no wear on the old ones. We should be good with new parts and stuff like that. You know, throw maybe a different cam in there. I don't know what's in there right now. I haven't dug into this thing that deep. I know there is an aftermarket timing chain on here, and I've mentioned that already in the past. But I do know that the cam that is in this thing does have a little bit of rough. But I mean, the way this thing runs is rough as it runs. Who knows if it's, you know, stock, or, you know, somebody put that in there after that. I don't know. So I really don't know what I'm digging into with that. But I currently just don't have all of the tools or even the parts to start digging into projects that big yet. I really do want to get into that soon. You know, I got some other ideas for some content. You know, I mentioned I'd like to detail, you know, some of the other vehicles we got and stuff like that, and do some fun stuff, you know, like to kind of just entertain a little bit, you know, just build the channel up, build a foundation for each other, you know, just hang out together, you know, do some car talk, even, you know, just car talk, you know, who knows, wherever it leads, you know, whatever's on my mind, and we'll go from there. I mean, thank you for tuning in. I hope you stayed this long to the end, kind of hear my plans on this, because one day you will see this thing complete. You know, I have that goal. It will happen, you know, no matter what I gotta do. So I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you stayed this long. If you have, you know, watch out for the next video, watch out for the next short, whatever I decide to get up and uploaded. I do want to dig into this transmission leak and kind of fix that for now, so that way I can, you know, tote this thing around this summer a little bit, you know, and you know, drive it a little bit, not worry about it, you know, leaking transmission fluid all over the highway, and, you know, breaking down 100 miles from home, and if somebody's like, hey, yeah, whatever. No, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm not going to waste any more time here, so I appreciate that. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.